even though we're not actually here, we welcome you into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show at Quaker Steak and Lube. If you're at the Lube, you're probably wondering, I'm looking over where those guys are sitting, and they're not there.
And Jeff has really aged, and Goon lost a lot of hair.
It is the magic, yes, of pre-recording. We are pre-recording this particular segment to lead off the Goon and Ironhead show here today on this Thursday. The Dear Booch and the Mailman, Mike the Mailman and Chris Buganati, kind enough to fill in for most of the program. But yeah, we wanted to weigh in on the Super Bowl and talk a little bit about it to kick off the program. Of course, I am going to be in Iowa City tomorrow night for the Nittany Lions Hawkeyes showdown, and the Dear Goon will be
flying right now,
partaking in a beverage or two, is my understanding,
yes.
And taking in all that is
trip.
the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl trip. We're going down to Fort Myers, keeping it just with our buddy Austin locally down there. 15, 20 guys as usual. Same thing over throughout the years. And I believe this is my ninth trip for the Super Bowl with these guys. So it's just a good time. Great time to be around and good folks. But we'll be glued to the television Friday night at 9 o'clock. Absolutely, because these guys are all wrestling people. So don't disappoint, Ironhead.
It should be a fun duel, mate.
Absolutely.
Carver Hawkeye is just a great place to watch wrestling, and they are passionate, and whether they're for you or against you, it is fun to be in that environment. And we'll know maybe a little more about both teams. I think we have a pretty good idea going in on both teams, but maybe we'll find out a little bit more about both teams on Friday night.
Looking forward to a big time. I mean, that's like we talked about it the other show, but you had the Ohio State match, and then they had the match against Michigan and got upset. I think both teams were looking ahead. So what's going to happen is Kale going to get his guys ready. Is Brandon's going to have his guys ready? So it's just lining up to just be an absolute stunner out there. Like going to be like one of those wow.
Yeah. Now we have about 15 minutes to talk about the Super Bowl. I figure we'll take the next 14 or so and zero in on Taylor Swift. What do you think she's going to be wearing, Goon?
Jeff, I didn't know this.
What kind of lipstick color? And is she going to say yes after Travis Kelce wins the Super Bowl MVP and proposes on the field? What say you, Goon? Let's break this all down. Taylor Swift talk for the next 14 minutes.
Okay. Well, in honor of Toby Keith, which I found out today was the first person to sign Taylor Swift to her. For her original record label was Toby Keith. I did not know that. God rest his soul.
Yes, indeed.
So I don't know if he is proposing to her or him or her to him.
Oh,
she's the billionaire, bud.
Oh,
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. So the meeting, the
Pro
Bowl media day the other day, he said that she has new material coming out, but he said you need to bring some hardware home this year. So interesting to see. A little pressure on good old Trav. And
what are the odds on her proposing to him? I haven't seen those odds.
I don't know. Very swift.
It is amazing. The prop bets. Every year there are tons of prop bets, and they're fun. The length of the national anthem.
Oh, crazy. Who's doing it? Do you know who's doing it?
Reba McEntire is.
Reba. I did remember that. I did see that.
And Usher, of course, is doing the halftime performance. What is the and again, you can prop bets on how long it'll be, how who all will appear with them, all of that stuff. First song is what do you think the first song for Usher in the halftime performance?
Really putting the pressure on me right now because I really don't know if it's even him. Like, getting hot in here. Is that him?
I think that is. Is that him? I think it is.
I don't know.
I think it's OMG is going to be the first song.
With
Nelly.
Nelly, that's who it is.
Yeah. I know Nelly's. I didn't know if he collaborated with somebody.
I'm much better with the Taylor Swift stuff. Obviously, I mean that's sort of my thing. So it's going to be a tough one to replicate with the Chris Stapleton national anthem that was for the Eagles Chiefs last season. That was damn unbelievable. So it'll be interesting to see Reba. Reba out there.
So one of the things that I do think is worth watching in this game at the outset. A lot of players have talked over the years about how that you think you know what it's going to be like, but you don't.
Yeah.
And you think about it, Goon. I mean, I think everybody, every kid who has played, even if you didn't play high school, like you just threw a football around in your backyard.
Right?
Like you are envisioning, man, this is me in the Super Bowl. Like this catch, that's what it would be in the Super Bowl. Like that, you have that thought.
Sure.
So few people get to play in the National Football League. Unbelievably small percentage of kiddos out there who play football get to the league. And then just it's unbelievable how few people get that opportunity. It is a stage that, again, you can't really imagine. You like to. I mean, I like to think about it, but it is such a big stage. It is the fulfillment in many cases of such a lifelong pursuit and dream that it has to be overwhelming a little bit. And even for like a Patrick Mahomes, who it's becoming old hat to, like it has to be, there has to be at least that moment where it's like, oh my God, I'm in the Super Bowl. Like that is unbelievable. It's just a real moment.
I'll give you my experience, and that is that playing the Rose Bowl, didn't play much in the NFL, but I did play in the Rose Bowl, and you know what happened in that first play of our game. We were all nervous as hell. There's no doubt about it. Until you get that first smack, you get your head knocked around a little bit. You know, you got a little shoulder pads get knocked down a little bit. Get a little dirt on your pants. You don't really feel it. I mean, you feel nerves. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we sat there from Thanksgiving until January 2nd and all Rose Bowl. Penn State, Nebraska. So for 2 weeks, all these guys have been sitting there and asking these questions as Chiefs, 49ers. A couple days of review of the NFC, AFC title games. And then you got about 10 to 12 days of nothing but Super Bowl talk. They've been out there for the whole week, media day, doing all this and all that. 99% of them are saying, let's get this game. They're all saying, I can't wait to get, that's what they're 100% are saying, I can't wait to get this game going. Because you're just sitting there, it's just like, just waiting for it. And then you get there, and then you have the extravaganza from the pregame, the fireworks pregame, the national anthem, the black national anthem, this and that. All these different emotions are going to hit these guys all at once. And, you look at Sirianni from the Eagles crying last year. I was like, what the hell is he crying for? But then the more I thought about it, I was like, man, that's a lifelong dream you just accomplished to coach in that game. You hadn't played or coached in it as of yet, and he was just happy to be there. So you could definitely feel that amongst the players. But there is let's get this the hell over with. Let's just start playing this game. Okay, no more Taylor Swift talk. No more this or that talk. None of this other crap. What happened to Lamar Jackson? What happened here? Did they win the game? Did they lose the game? Did Detroit lose the game and San Francisco not? It's over with. Once the helmet hits the first time, it's just you are playing in your backyard again.
Yeah,
and it is just a game, and it is playing football, and those who settle down and relax the quickest flourish.
So, to that end, how much of an advantage do you think it is for the Chiefs? More of the Chiefs players obviously have been in this spot than the 49ers in terms of at the outset, hey, we know how to manage this.
Historically, it's the quarterback that you have to worry about, and Mahomes has proven that he doesn't affect him. Now, Purdy, everything is pointing to him being he's going to be cool, calm, and collected, but you just never know. You just never know until you actually see it. What do I suspect he'll do? I suspect he'll do exactly what he's done before and just play the game and manage the game and make some plays when he needs to make plays. And I don't know. They had a good chance of winning this game. I mean, it's just as even the Super Bowl in a while. I mean, last year's was pretty damn exciting. As an Eagles fan, it stunk. But I've talked to people, and actually Booch had this conversation with people, he and I, with somebody who said, last year's Super Bowl was one of the best Super Bowls they've ever watched. It was really amazing in the back and forth and, the comebacks, the stopping here and there, the tackles, the penalties at the end of the game. But as an Eagles fan, you were on the end of your seat with no fingernails left, like furious at how it ended out. But as a football fan, you can look at it and say it was a hell of a game to watch last year.
No. No doubt about that. I think what is, for me, fascinating about this game is I think San Francisco, when healthy, was the most impressive and most consistently impressive team of the season.
Correct.
All season long, I and most folks that watch football said it felt like the Chiefs had taken a step back. Not a big step back, but that they had come back to earth a little bit. The Ravens were the AFC favorites. So they were the 1 seed for a reason, right? And it felt like, well, it didn't feel like Kansas City was, out of the picture in any way, shape, or form. It did feel like, okay, this isn't one of the great, kind of like Alabama football in the college ranks this past season. It's still really good. Wouldn't be shocked if they end up winning it all, but it didn't feel like, man, this is one of the all-time great Alabama teams. It didn't feel like this was one of the all-time great Kansas City teams in terms of the last 5 seasons. But
here we are.
And here are the 2 things that I look at. So I still think San Francisco, to me, has the most complete roster in football. I think if you go through...
I can agree with that 100%.
Yeah, the strength of all 3 levels defensively, it's like, man, they are really good in all 3, have had really good consistent quarterback play, have, the most dynamic running back in the NFL, good receiving core, the whole bit, and a good coach. So to me, San Francisco across the board, just the best team in the NFL. And I think Kyle Shanahan is a terrific coach. I think Brock Purdy is a terrific quarterback. I think Andy Reid is as good as there is in the business right now.
Yep.
And I think Patrick Mahomes is as good as there is in the business right now. Quarterback coach, we talk about it all the time. What do you need to be elite? What do you need to be great in the NFL? Starts with quarterback, starts with coach. You got to be at least really good in those 2 spots, at least. Well, they are elite and then some, Kansas City. Again, San Francisco's very good at both. It's not like, hey, clearly the Chiefs have an overwhelming advantage there. But again, arguably the best coach right now, as we're sitting here today in the National Football League, and arguably, although I don't think much of an argument against it, the best quarterback as we sit here right now in the league for Kansas City. That, to me, makes that pendulum feel like it's pulling Kansas City's way, even though, again, I think the overall roster is better with San Francisco. And even though, again, I think if you do agree that Andy Reid is 1A and Patrick Mahomes is 1A, I mean, Kyle Shanahan then would be 1AA, and Brock Purdy, with the way he's played this season, would be 1AA as well. It's not like there's a clear-cut, overwhelming separation there, but I don't know. To me, that's fascinating in this game. Can Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and this is me maybe oversimplifying it, but it feels like they may be able to will the Chiefs to the victory against, again, what to me, and again, it's not overwhelming either in terms of the rosters. Like, it's not like Kansas City, they just don't match up with that San Francisco roster. No, it's close. I just don't think, the Chiefs' defense is not as consistently good as what San Francisco was throughout the season when healthy.
Well, my cynical Philadelphia view?
Fire
when
away.
You're ready for it, you let me know.
Let's do it. I want to hear it.
Andy Reid is still Andy Reid. He still has that one big game where he flubs it up. He did not do it. I mean, I don't know about last year or just like that. Mahomes just was that good and won the game. That's where I would give that. But against the Buccaneers, it was that Andy Reid that lost 4 straight division conference titles in Philadelphia, in my opinion, being outcoached or overthinking everything. So, yes, he does have the 2 Super Bowls. I mean, the one was the first one he won with Mahomes. That was on him. That was Andy Reid's moment. Last year was all Mahomes, excuse me. So I'm interested to see how they react. Is it going to be like Andy Reid's dynamic? Is he will run an offense at you for the first like what you're going to plan for and this and that, and then a whole new offense out there and a whole new route tree, and you're just like, how is he man doing it? And that's what his genius is. Sometimes he overcoaches, sometimes he undercoaches, and that has been the knock on him. But 2 year or the one they lost to the Buccaneers, so that's 3-4 years ago, because it was we went Rams, Bucks, Rams, Chiefs last year. You remember Andy Reid's son got in a car accident and killed that person in a drunk driving accident?
Yeah,
his mind wasn't there. You know what I mean? So he was out. He was distant, and that game he turned into the old Andy Reid. Now you got to take into account. I mean, Mahomes is. You could call him a robot and call him a great quarterback because he is all of that. His dad just got his 5th DUI. He's probably going to jail for 10 years in this past week. I'm not saying similarities between Andy Reid's son and Patrick Mahomes Sr., but I mean, there's got to be right on the kid's mind.
You would think.
You'd think so. You know what I mean? He can't be that cold and callous and calculated. I mean, we think that he is on the football field, but he's also a human being and a family man first. So that has to take into account a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just think that the 49ers run game, if they get that going and that sets the play action up, and then you got Debo out there just mauling people. And the Chiefs, they're hurt. They're not in great health.
Yeah.
And they have not been all year. So Debo can go out there, and Ayuk can go out there, and Kittle can go out there. Oh, with a little splash of Christian McCaffrey, by the way. Here you go.
All fair points and all what I thought we would see with Baltimore and Kansas City, because it's like, man, Lamar Jackson's playing at such a high level. Harbaugh and kind of the same thing. I'm like, if Baltimore can just run the ball, and I still don't really understand what happened with the Ravens game.
The weirdest thing
there.
I think I've ever seen.
Yes, I think the 49ers, I mean, I think going into this game, the 49ers will show the Ravens the blueprint for what they should have done to get to the Super Bowl in winning the Super Bowl, is what I think is going to happen. But again, I thought that is exactly how it would play out in the AFC Championship game as well. Listen, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked either way, right? Like, as you said, I mean, this feels like it should be a really competitive game and probably back and forth and fairly high scoring. Like, I think the winner gets into the 30s. What do you think?
Yeah. I hope it's a great game. I hope it's a high-scoring game. I hope the teams go up and down the field. But San Fran's defense can step up. You're right. They have the 3 levels of that defense. The linebacker core there is nasty. So the Chiefs, they're not going to be able to run the ball well. And if they do, they're going to win. How's that sound?
Well, so, yes. So at the end of the day, what it feels like, I think we're both saying, is for the Chiefs to win, it's going to have to be Patrick Mahomes, the Patrick Mahomes show.
And defense.
Well, if you're the Chiefs, I think you're okay with that. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're good with that. Patrick Mahomes show, that's what we need. Yeah, we're okay with that because that's what the dude has done. That's what he does. I think it is a fascinating game because of that fact that Mahomes, like, what is he going to do? How impressive is he going to look? And can the 49ers do enough that it doesn't matter what Mahomes does at the end of the day, that like they can control the game and win it at the line of scrimmage? At the end of the day, that's what I think will happen. This is one of the very few times, and I don't know what I think you've said you're not a huge San Francisco rubs you the wrong way. Am I remembering that right?
Yeah. Just like every play, there's always a fight. There's always a scrap. They're always trying to, think about the mid-90s and 2000s Florida State and Miami football teams. Like every play, somebody got up chirping this and that and this and that. There's always like pushing and shoving after each and every play. Now, Kansas City was talking all kinds of smack to Baltimore.
Yeah.
And Patrick Queen lost his cool 3 different times, had 2 different personal fouls. So, I mean, they want to play that game. Again, you hope and pray. The last 2 Super Bowls have come down to referees' calls. It was the Bengals and the Rams. late in that game, a pass interference call that was called, and it was really, come on, are you really calling that?
Yeah.
And then last year, it was a hold, but you don't call it at that time type of thing. Like I said, you just want the referees. This is all you want. You want the referee, the first play of the game to the last game, keep it the same. It's like baseball when an umpire has a strike zone that's all over the place.
Yeah.
You can't get used to it. You got to learn how to play the game. I want to learn how to play this game. All right. You call it the same in the first quarter as you would in the fourth quarter. That's all you could ask.
Yeah, it is one of the very few times that I don't have any real rooting interest. Like, I'm just hoping for a good game. I like some players on both teams. I mean, it's hard not to like Christian McCaffrey, and hard not to like Patrick Mahomes. But I'm not passionately for or against. Like, these are two of the teams that are just, for me, like, middle of the road. Like, I'm not for or against either of them in any particular way. And so for me, like, usually I'm like just rooting against somebody or for somebody, either individually or as a team. And for me, I'm like, nah, this year I just want to see a good game. I think San Francisco ends up winning it, and I think it is a good game. I think it's going to be like 31-28 at the end of the day, 49ers.
Jeez Louise. I was sitting there 10 minutes ago thinking in my head, because you said getting it over 30. Oh, you're right. But I said it's going to be close. By 31-28, I said would be about the right score. How about the transformation of Mahomes and the Chiefs? Andy Reid 6 years ago, everybody in the country was rooting for the Chiefs. They were America's darling. They wanted Andy Reid to get that Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is this young up-and-coming kid that's going to be great in this and that. Now the whole country's against them because they're sick of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't it funny how the world...
Welcome to Penn State Wrestling from 2011 to now.
There you go. That's a great call, my man.
Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy the Super Bowl. Booch and Mike the Mailman will be back with you after this timeout. And the Goon and I will be back on Tuesday with another edition of the Big Show. Folks, enjoy the Super Bowl and enjoy the rest of today's show right here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Your hands it, busboy. Your wings suck! I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Haw-Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Haw-Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Haw-Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome back to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show, coming to you live as we always are on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 in the p.m. East Coast time, right here on 98.7 The Fox at Quaker Steak Lube in State College. And if you are just tuning in, you're wondering where the Goon and the Ironhead are right now. Well, Goon is on his way to go party in Vegas around the Super Bowl, and Ironhead is, unfortunately for him, headed to a much less appealing destination. That's Iowa City. Yep. And he'll be calling the Penn State Wrestling team taking on the Hawkeyes of Iowa tomorrow at Carver Hawkeye Arena. And you can hear that live at gopsusports.com. I am Chris Bucanani. I am joined by my obligatory PSU running mate, legendary campus icon Mike the Mailman.
Hello, Chris. Good to be here again. Nice to back up these guys. It's fun to be here doing this with you.
It is. They got to get careful they don't get Wally Pip, though, don't you think?
Yeah. Right.
But this has become something of a tradition for you and me because it has just turned out. Goon goes to the Super Bowl every year.
Yep.
It does not go into the game, not necessary to go into the game,
No.
just down there for the scene, for the vibes. And it has just worked out that the wrestling team has been on the road the week of the Super Bowl every year for like 3 straight years.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
Mike, you are kind enough to, in the obligatory off season, come in and sit in with me. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
How are you?
I never had a bad day. I'm good.
I know this. I know this about you. A little housekeeping for everybody. If you're listening to us on the radio here in Happy Valley on 98.7 The Fox, tonight at 7:15 are going to be a blockbuster high school girls basketball game. The undefeated St. Joe's Academy taking on one-loss Williamsburg. So that is a big game. Todd Brown is going to have the call. Norm Brown on the color commentary. You can hear that right here live on 98.7 The Fox starting at 7:15 p.m. this evening. And as that girls game finishes up, you can tune in to your Penn State Lady Lions taking on Caitlin Clark, who I'm definitely not sick of hearing about at all. And Iowa's women's basketball team, again, being played out there in Iowa City. So that game tips at 9 p.m. tonight. And this Monday, especially if you are heading to the Penn State wrestling match at the Bryce Jordan Center, beforehand, come on down to Cafe 210 West. Join the gang from the Keystone Sports Network, which you hear live right here on 98.7 The Fox. Jeff Byers, the voice of the wrestling team, the Ironhead himself, is going to be there. They're going to be joined by Char Moret Curtis and Carolyn Keeger of the women's basketball team. They're going to be doing a live event. You can hear it here on the airwaves, and you can be there in person. They'll have good drink specials, a lot of good stuff, good food going on at the cafe. So that starts at 4:30, runs through 6:30 p.m. So plenty of time to swing by on your way up to the wrestling match. That's at Cafe 210 West on Monday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Great way to come out and hear from some legendary Nittany Lions coaches and support what Char, who I know you're big fan of, Mike, or maybe I should say she's a big fan of you, right? But what she's doing with getting her organization up and running. Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved it when Char was a coach and I was still working at the post office. Every spring training, they always come. They used to have Penn State used to have these little cards with the schedule on, and they always they used to bring me a ton of those into the post office because they knew a lot of kids would come in and I'd hand.
Oh, you push them.
Oh yeah,
right. They knew. They knew.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was a good way to get the word out. So Char, and I don't want to take anything away from Carolyn Keeger. Her team is having a phenomenal season, like outstripping all expectations of even the folks who I think general consensus on the women's basketball team at Penn State was they were going to be improved from where they've been the past few seasons. They are really outpacing all expectations of the preseason. Not to take anything away from her, but Char is a Penn State legend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she is one of the OGs, like yourself.
Wow.
And I think it is so awesome that as she moves into the next phase of her life, having stepped away from coaching this past year, that with a lot of support from Pat Kraft, who we love here on the show, Teammates for Life is the organization that she has started up to support women's athletics here at Penn State. And there is just no better advocate for that, face of that, voice for that. And so, again, if you are in the State College area, if you're heading up to the wrestling match, if you're just getting off work, you're maybe working at the university, whatever, swing on by Cafe 210, starting at 4:30, running through 6:30. That's going to be a cool event. So we hope to see a lot of folks there.
That'll be a fun time. I think it'll be really great.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Well, Mike, there's a lot for us to talk about, and we just heard Goon and Ironhead break down the Super Bowl. Before we get to talk about the Super Bowl, I thought we would talk a little Penn State sports, and let's dive right in. Go ahead. Yeah. What do you got?
Is the Penn State recruiting process over now?
It's never over. In fact,
that's true.
Not only is high school recruiting never over, like now you're constantly re-recruiting your own roster. Well, as you know, so I mean, literally no end to recruiting. But for those who may not know, and you've got to be few and far between, you can see and hear Mailman and myself during the football season on the obligatory PSU pregame show and the obligatory PSU podcast. This fall is going to be season number 9.
I know.
Can you believe that, Mike? When you're freshly retired and you just rolled in to a porch taping session, not knowing any of us.
And my sisters, when I retired, said, they were concerned that I wouldn't have enough to do.
We're taking care of you for that. So, I thought we could talk a little Penn State football. And
sure.
So, actually, let me first and foremost just get your thoughts on a couple of the big stories, because we have not convened at all. The season ends and we like to take a little break from each other. Kevin's busy in his job as a lawyer. Brandon Noble's getting ready to go be a defensive coordinator in NFL Europe this year, which we're excited for him for, but he was over in Germany this past week. So everybody takes a little breathing time. We have not really had a chance to reconvene since Penn State came out on the wrong end of the Peach Bowl, and a lot has happened in college football. Probably most notably in the Big Ten, the San Diego Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers hiring Jim Harbaugh away from Michigan, and Jimbo taking most of the Michigan staff along with him. Your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know if the word loyalty ever exists anymore in any sports. But I mean, they stuck with this guy when he was having a bad time at Michigan, and they wanted him forever, and I thought he was going to be there forever. But apparently, he got lured over there because I don't know if it was the money or what. But I don't know.
So here's my theory on that. And let me first start with this concept of loyalty. I've heard other people bring this up. Well, Michigan was loyal to him. And my question is, were they? Because if you remember, Jim Harbaugh was one fake bout of COVID away from getting canned at Michigan. Because let me just say, not to start another Jim Harbaugh conspiracy theory, but there is a 0% chance that roster had an outbreak of COVID right before they were set to get tattooed by arch rival Ohio State by 50 points. They made that up. That was pretend. They did not want to eat that loss, and so they faked having COVID to get out of it. There is no way, after the general sense that he had maybe underperformed a little bit through his first few seasons there in Ann Arbor, and then the COVID year was a total disaster. He had not beaten Michigan once, and they were about to get obliterated. Penn State started 0-5 that season, if you'll recall.
That's right.
Mike.
That's right.
And you were laughed at by me and Kevin and Goon when you said that they were going to win at Michigan. But they did. Great for Penn State, terrible for Jim Harbaugh. Like when you have a team that's 0-5 come into your building and run you off your own field, not great. Conditions are not great. They were going to lose. Ryan Day was going to try to score 100 points on Michigan in that game. And there's no way he survives it. And as it was, he was on very shaky ground. And if you remember, they made him take a 50% pay cut. I'm not making that up. Go, if you're listening, go Google it. With Jim Harbaugh plus Michigan plus 50% pay cut. They cut his pay in half. I mean, that's unheard of. That is unheard of in the world of big time coaching. I can't think of, frankly, a bigger indignity visited on any coach ever, because usually you just get fired. But to be walked back out in front of the fans and your players and the media and the alumni by your alma mater.
Yeah.
By a guy grew up in Ann Arbor. His dad coached at Michigan. And they were like, oh, yeah, you're going to stay, but you're going to work for half of what you were supposed to get paid.
Yeah.
And my feeling is, first of all, I would argue that that's, disloyalty on the part of the institution to just embarrass him that way.
Yeah.
And I think
I guess he could have left right then. He could have.
Absolutely.
He could have.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think, part of it was a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, at least, like the Happy Gilmore line. So either way, at least I'm going to get some money, right? Like he knew he was going to get paid. But the other thing was, I think, as Goon has said, he bet on himself. And he believed in his ability to get it turned around. And, he may or may not have known that there was going to be a sophisticated cheating operation put in place right about that time to help the process along. But regardless of that, I think from that moment, the relationship between Jim Harbaugh and Michigan was broken.
Yeah.
So I think that's point number one.
Yeah.
I think when they said to him, you can come back, but you got to work for half.
Yeah, few people would do that.
In the back of your head, you got to be thinking, you know what? Like, I'm going to wait until the tables have turned, and then I'm going to hold all the cards. Then I'm going to use the leverage that I have, and he certainly had all the leverage here. So I think that was part of it for sure. Just the broken relationship. On the other hand, I think one of the reasons why his own alma mater, where yes, he had not had the success they had hoped for, but they had a lot of success. Certainly a heck of a lot more than they had under Brady Hoke or Rich Rodriguez.
That's true. That's right.
I think one of the reasons why they were so quick to pull the trigger on treating him that way was that everywhere Jim Harbaugh has gone, two things have happened. He has won at the highest level, and he has made a lot of enemies, and they have not been like devastated to see him go.
Yeah.
So I think probably the relationship was fraying on both sides.
Yep.
And, here comes the NFL. He is one of the most coveted coaching candidates of the offseason because he is that rare bird who can win both in the pros and in college at the high level. He's already taken a team to the Super Bowl, took San Francisco to the NFC Championship game like 3 out of 4 years. And so, the NFL teams wanted him. They were willing to spend big to get him. And even setting all the bad blood relationship on both sides to the side, I have to think that Harbaugh, along with, frankly, a lot of other coaches in college football right now, was just exhausted with the direction that it's going. We talked before about having to re-recruit your entire roster. I think maybe he just wanted to coach ball.
And actually, it looks like he might have the last laugh because he's taken several coaches with him, which I guess that's normal in sports. You take it. I mean, Coach Franklin took a lot of people from Vanderbilt.
He did. He did.
I don't know how normal that is.
It's a little less normal going from college to the pros, right?
Right.
So, one of the things with James coming from Nashville to Penn State is that if you remember the situation the program was in at the time, it was a double whammy of having taken a major financial hit through the scandal and sanctions era, and also the fact that we were coming off. It was like, we'd been living in a rent-controlled apartment in Manhattan, basically, where we had, the winningest coach of all time, and we were paying him $1 million a year. Like, that wasn't even the going rate for a good coordinator in the rest of the real world outside the bubble of Happy Valley. So the resources and the willingness to pay assistant coaches when James Franklin got here did not exist at Penn State. So it was, I think beneficial to all involved. James is a loyal guy who wanted to reward the guys who came up with him. And Penn State didn't have to break the bank to hire a guy away from Vanderbilt, right? Now, to see somebody go from Michigan to a professional setting and take so many of the college coaches with him. Now, to Harbaugh's credit, I think one of the reasons why he had so much success at Michigan is he brought NFL talent to Ann Arbor. So it's not, a lot of these guys have some background in the league. But again, I do wonder whether some of it is just not a little subtle twisting of the knife. It's like, you know what? when the shoe was on the other foot, like, you guys made me take a 50% pay cut. Well, you know what? And then now you get to see whether or not the grass is actually greener. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, that's college and professional sports. It's big business, definitely big business. Unbelievable.
Other big news: Nick Saban retired.
Yep.
That's he actually just announced this week, yesterday, I think, that he is going to be on College Game Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the intention is long term to sort of slide him into the Lee Corso role.
Probably, yeah.
Which I think is, not the worst idea in the world.
And you get to a certain age when all the pressures of winning every game, it has to, no matter who you are, it's got to get to you. And so he just says, it's time to walk away. You know when it's time to walk away, and obviously he did, and he knew that there was something waiting for him. So why not do that? I don't know. I know all the coaches are competitive, always want to win, but it comes a time to say, hey, it's time to move on. So
I heard him say that this season he felt like it was taking more out of him to be at the same level he had always been at. Maybe not even so much in season, but in the off season. A lot of NFL guys say that too when they retire from the league.
Yeah.
It's not the weekly grind of the season. It's everything you have to do to keep yourself in shape during the off season.
Yeah.
That you're just like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And I think that's the point where Nick Saban got. I think. Do you think he's the greatest college football coach of all time?
No. There's a guy that you should actually. This guy used to come to my post office. Joe Paterno, in my mind, is the best.
I appreciate you saying that, Mike. I knew I could count on you to be a big-time homer.
Not taking away from Nick, but
I would love to give Joe the nod over Nick Saban, and it is no shame to be considered one of the 2 or 3 best to ever do it.
Yep.
But when you look at what he was able to accomplish in the era in which he did it, he's peerless. So my point is, like, if you're even if you're getting the Mike the Mailman demerit and you're only the second best coach of all time, it's you could retire comfortably.
Oh yeah, yep.
As among the elite, and now he'll get to see what it's like on our side of the camera, right?
Oh yeah,
and no one is ever going to replace the personality of Lee Corso. He was such a great fit for that show. Even though when I was younger, it used to drive me nuts because I thought he was like super unfair and biased against Penn State. Right. As I have aged, I've really come to appreciate what he brought to that show. And it's a shame to me to see that diminished as he's getting older. But I do think that Saban can be a funny guy when he wants to be. And I think when he gets the chance to focus on being a media personality first, he'll get better at it. And he'll bring unbelievable insight to the game, to that show. And it probably needs it. I think it needs it.
Just like Brandon brings insight to our show, the obligatory show.
Absolutely.
Because he played the college and pro game. So,
look, Game Day has got to continue innovating to keep up with us. That's what I'm saying. So,
right.
It's all they can do. All they can do. They got a retired coach. We're going to have an active NFL Europe coach.
That's right.
On the set this fall.
Oh yeah.
So, college football, a lot of stuff going on. You talk about guys who are sick and tired of dealing with the new college football, NIL, and transfer portal and re-recruit your whole roster. Boston College's head coach just said, I'm done. I'm out, and took the defensive coordinator job in Green Bay. Again, like you're seeing this exodus from college to the pros, going back to Harbaugh. And that looks like it may end up spiriting Bill O'Brien away from Columbus after only a few weeks in the scarlet and gray.
You heard that?
Yes. So purportedly Bill O'Brien is down to the final 3 candidates for the Boston College head coaching job. I know BC likes him. Bill is very interested in the job. He's a Boston native, has a lot of connections there from his time with the Patriots organization, both stints he had. So I will not be disappointed at all if Bill takes that job and we don't have to see him coach against us next season.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for that too.
Now, the funny thing is that the top rumored candidate to replace Bill O'Brien, if in fact he does get the Boston College job, is Chip Kelly.
Wow.
Chip, by the way, is another guy who is desperately trying to leave college football for the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
But is willing to go just take a high-profile coordinator job if it'll get him out of UCLA.
Yeah.
That seems to have run its course out there, which is disappointing to me, by the way, because ever since they announced the UCLA move to the Big Ten, I have been hoping and praying to just once get to experience all the Eagles fans in Beaver Stadium booing Chip Kelly when he comes in, and it looks like I'm just miss it. Just miss it. I mean, we were so close, mailman. I could taste it.
It's a simple thing in life that we
It would have been so loud and so funny.
I'm sure.
It would have been great. But just commenting on that from the Penn State fans' perspective, Ohio State's roster is going to be stacked next season with talent. I mean, they recruit very well. Their wide receiver recruiting continues to be lights out. Like, I wish someone would just throw a bunch of money at Brian Hartline and get him out of there because he was, I don't know if you remember, he was a receiver for them. And then, took the receivers coach job, and they've continued to, lavish him with pay raises and improvements to his job title to keep him in Columbus. Maybe he thinks that he's next in line for the job if Ryan Day ends up going the NFL route or something. So he's stuck around there, and he just absolutely kills it. They can get anybody they want at the receiver. And they've done a very, very good job in the transfer portal as well. But one dynamic that I'm going to be watching very closely next season, and again, I bring it up now with Bill O'Brien going there, and now maybe potentially Chip Kelly coming in to replace him if Bill gets that job at BC, is that Ryan Day has always called the plays there. And he's never been in a situation where he has had to share play calling authority since he became head coach at Ohio State. And he is very protective, as most of these scheme guys are, of his offense. And, I just wonder, how is the dynamic going to work? And whether it's Bill O'Brien, who is a fiery guy, who has always kind of had free reign, either because he's been the head man at Penn State and when he was with the Texans, or working with a defensive-minded coach in Saban and Belichick. You have to go all the way back to when he was an assistant on Ralph Regent's staff with James Franklin to get to a point where Bill didn't have pretty much carte blanche when it came to the offensive scheme. And I mean, again, the guy's got a little bit of a temper on him. And so even if you swap him out for Chip, who I think is an even more like bizarre, mercurial personality than O'Brien, and has an even longer history of having complete control over the. I mean, he's been controlling the offense since he was a coach at New Hampshire. And now all of a sudden you're going to put somebody, whether it's Bill O'Brien or Chip Kelly, who is used to being the alpha, in the same room with the head coach, who is himself used to being the alpha. Both of them very strong-willed and very opinionated about offensive football, and a ton of pressure on that team because of the talent that they've brought in. The expectation is national title or bust. That is a hell of a crucible to figure out whether or not that working relationship can work. And, I'm not gonna lie, Mike, I am crossing my fingers for the whole thing to go up like a nitroglycerin factory.
Especially in October, November when we play them.
Yes. I actually, between the booth and the sidelines at Beaver Stadium would be the perfect time for that to just completely go off the rails.
That would be great. Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. I just the prospect of Ryan Day handing the reins of his offense over to another former head coach.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Things seem to work out for Ohio State in their favor, but man, if I were like an organizational consultant and I was brought in to evaluate whether to make that move, I'd be like, I don't know, this does not seem like a good move to me at all.
Nope.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. We love college football.
Yeah, I mean, it's never a bad time to talk about it.
Right.
I don't want to go down this road today because we'll talk a little wrestling and basketball and devote most of the rest of the show to the Super Bowl. But it is worth noting that we may be down to the last few years of anything even remotely resembling what has been college football through the totality of our lifetimes. Because the legal direction seems to be moving that players will be classified as employees of the university, and then you're going to bring in collective bargaining and then salary and compensation and benefits. And I'm not saying any of that's bad necessarily. I do think one way or another, the players need to get a bigger cut of the pie. They need to be better taken care of. But I'm just saying, if you're not tracking this stuff closely, like if you have a job and a life and you just tune in during the fall, enjoy this season and enjoy the next couple of them, because one day you're going to flip on the TV and it's going to look and feel completely different. It's going to be like waking up next to a stranger.
Oh yeah. We're not going to, as much as we prepare for it, we're still not going to be ready for it. It's going to happen. And sad.
Yeah. And even the most expert people who I try to keep track of and follow on social media and read when they publish stuff, nobody really knows what's going to happen. So it's exciting in a way, but distressing as well, because there's the potential there that they could really mess it up. They could just upset the apple cart in the most disastrous way. And given the history of how college football has been organized, would you bet against? You're a betting man, the mailman. Would you bet against that?
Yeah, it's a chance. If it's going to happen, it will happen then. You're right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So before we cut to break, speaking of waking up next to a stranger, and the stranger, totally off topic, but I got to ask, did you hear the new Billy Joel song, Nick? Yeah.
No.
Oh, you got to listen to it. It is really good.
Oh.
It is really good. Again, I'll throw an uncompensated endorsement out there for all our listeners. If you're a Billy Joel fan, or even if you're not, look it up on YouTube or Spotify or wherever. Turn the Lights Back On. His first new single in 30 years. And a lot of times, when an older artist comes back and releases a new song, it's not so good. Like, I remember like the Rolling Stones tried to do a few albums back in the late 90s, and it was like, did not sound like classic Stones, but this was really good. Really good.
Turn the Lights Back On?
Turn the Lights Back On.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. I mean, it sounds like it could have come from his prolific, like, late 70s, early 80s period. It's very well done, and what you would expect from Billy Joel. Very melodic, very poignant lyrically. And he's still got it.
Oh, good.
He's still got it, which is encouraging. And we've still got it here on the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. Mike the Mailman and Chris Buchanani filling in for the Goon and Ironhead, coming to you live from Quaker Steak and Lube here on WFXS Pleasant Gap State College, 98.7 The Fox. We're going to take a break, and when we get back, we will probably touch on Penn State Wrestling facing off with Iowa, and then we're going to talk some Super Bowl. Stay with us.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Look hands it, busboy. Your wings suck! I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Haw-Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Haw-Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Haw-Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
Fox Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox here in Happy Valley. You're tuning in to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show live from State College's Quaker Steak and Lube. Goon and Ironhead are both on assignment. Goon in Vegas, Ironhead headed out to the Penn State Iowa match in Iowa City. I am Chris Bucanani. I am joined by my fellow obligatory PSU pregame show co-host, legendary campus icon Mike the Mailman, and we are bringing you conversation about Penn State sports and the Super Bowl here. A reminder that you can listen to the Goon and Ironhead show every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. You can catch it live here locally on 98.7 The Fox or tune in online at the Goon and Ironhead show Facebook page or YouTube channel, or watch it on my Twitter feed, actually. Another reminder, if you're listening locally on the radio tonight at 7:15, we've got an absolute barn burner of a high school girls basketball game. We've got 21-0 St. Joe's Academy taking on 20-1 Williamsburg. Todd Brown will have the call on that one at 7:15 p.m. That tips off at 7:15 p.m. tonight right here on 98.7 The Fox. And this Monday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., please join us at Cafe 210 West. Maybe if you're in town and headed up to the wrestling match at the Bryce Jordan Center, swing by the cafe for drink specials and a special program, Winning Ways, presented by Shar Moret Curtis's group, Teammates for Life, and the Keystone Sports Network and 98.7 The Fox. Come join us at Cafe 210. So, Michael,
yes,
you are a big wrestling guy.
Yep, I've been around wrestling a long, long time. I've been around longer than Jeff, the Ironhead, but obviously he knows more than I do. But I would tell you, of all the wrestling teams I've ever seen in my lifetime, 1 through 10 at Penn State this year is the best I've ever seen.
So I will not attempt to get all of the numbers right. Jeff's gone through them with me a couple of times when I've been in here filling in for Goon. But there are a number of high water marks that were set by the, I want to say 98 maybe, Iowa team. Yep. And Penn State is chasing them at Nationals this year.
In fact, I went to Rapid Transit today to buy some new sneakers. And they were talking wrestling. And as I was walking out, I said, well, I wouldn't be surprised if they shut them out. Boy, that caused a ruckus. You never shut out. They said, they will never shut out Iowa. I said, well, I just want to tell you, if they do, I'm going to come back here every day and gloat for a week.
Listen, if that happens, Mike, please call me. I want to watch you strut into Rapid Transit Sports.
Okay.
Which deserves and gets an uncompensated shout out from the both of us. We love Rapid Transit Sports in downtown State College. Great place to go get your running shoes.
Oh, yeah. But they are loaded. They are really loaded.
Wild, isn't it?
Every weight class. Oh, yeah, yeah. Usually there's a weakness here or there, but I don't see it. I don't know. They have on the Big Ten Network, they have wrestling, top wrestling matches of the week, every top 7. Penn State's never on there because their matches are never close. It's like it's so different. It's like, wow.
Well, Kale hasn't lost a dual meet since Christ was a boy. I mean, you've got your Nittany Lion Wrestling Club hoodie.
Oh yeah,
on. We can plug them too. Join the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club.
Great group of people. Really good. They know their stuff.
Hey, listen, if you're in the local listening audience, we would love to have you as a sponsor here on the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We've had the same core group of sponsors for years. So that loyalty, I think, speaks volumes. When welcome Timberland Federal Credit Union to the family. If you want to join that group, you can certainly get in touch with us. And same deal with the whole station here at 98.7 The Fox. But all you really need to do is just kiss up to me and or Mike the Mailman or Goon and Ironhead. You probably get a free plug like Nittany Lion Wrestling Club just did. So, yeah, I mean, Penn State has been so far ahead and so dominant of the rest of the country this year. It does take a little bit of the air out of the balloon of this match, I guess, on Friday, especially after, like, to both of us, we were talking off the air. Iowa just, like, almost inexplicably getting tattooed by Michigan last Friday.
Yeah, I don't understand. I do not understand how that happened because Michigan wasn't even close when they wrestled Penn State. I mean, they had like 2 or 3 takedowns at the most. It's unbelievable.
So do you think that is, look, let's forget whether it's an advantage or disadvantage for Penn State. One of the things that has just been the hallmark of this program under Cale Sanderson is steady Eddie.
Yeah, you wrestle the next guy.
Yeah. What's going on outside the program means virtually nothing to these guys. But from Iowa's perspective, do you think it's a positive or a negative that they are coming off that kind of a loss heading into a big match? Or do they have, a little more pea and vinegar in them, or are they reeling after getting, like upset?
I'm sure that the Iowa coaches, really stuck it to them this week. And of all the college sports teams, whatever, I mean, I like the wrestlers of Iowa. It's the coaches. I
can't stand them.
So I would think that they were probably really tattooed the guys this week in practice. I don't know.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you about. Clemson, the head coach at Maryland.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the clip of his little outburst at the end? How did you feel about that?
Well, coaches do that a lot. You don't see that a lot.
It happened to get caught on camera. For folks who don't know, Penn State beat Maryland handily in their building in wrestling, as you said, as Penn State does against most teams. And traditionally, Maryland wrestling has not been very competitive. Right. Their coach has been making some moves to try to improve the program and by their standards, having success. Now, that doesn't mean they're anywhere near being in Penn State's class, but Penn State put it to them pretty good. And in the post-match exchange, some words
and
got caught on camera.
Cale just walked by.
I mean,
I think what it was Chirac was beating this guy by 17 or 14 points or 15, whatever it was.
Yeah,
he wanted to pin him instead of getting he wanted the 6-point win with the pin rather than the 5-point major decision or whatever that is.
Yeah, but the point to me is that wrestling, and my daughter's a swimmer. It's kind of the same deal. It's an individual sport inside of a team sport.
Yep, it is. Yep.
And so, like, yes, you're trying to score points as a team, but each match, it's mano a mano. It's that guy versus the other guy. Yep. And, what are you going to teach? Yeah, it just, to me, I can get if you're talking football.
Yep.
And, I buy into the idea of football is the ultimate team sport, that you're winning by 30 points. You take your foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. No. Although, to be honest with you, I don't even care about that anymore.
No, I know, but
it's so different.
But if you're the Maryland coach, you had to know going in, wasn't even going to be close. I don't.
Yeah, that's what I thought was strange. Like, what, you were surprised? You were surprised you lost? Like, the Akron coach doesn't come cuss James Franklin out after we blow him off the field every year. But like. Maryland athletics might just have an issue with handshakes. Pre-game, post-game, I don't know. There would just be a problem.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, but it should be a good match. Of course, Ironhead will have the call, and that is the way to experience a Penn State wrestling match. If you can't be there in person, it's to hear it described by the Ironhead, and you can get that live on gopsusports.com. Tomorrow evening. That'll be a big one. I think it's also on the Big Ten Network, right?
I think it is.
Yeah. And tonight, in addition to being able to hear on 98.7 The Fox, hear a great high school basketball game at 7:15, 9 o'clock, the Lady Lions tip off against Iowa. Big opportunity for Penn State.
Oh, yeah.
At 9 p.m. tip off tonight. But your general feeling going into this Penn State Iowa match, Mike the Mailman, you seem pretty confident since you're floating a shutout.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, I go through the rosters and I'm thinking there's 2 potential losses, but I don't know. The Penn State guys, they just seem to know how to win. I mean, Obviously, it's coaching. Obviously, it's a wrestling room where they wrestle guys that are Olympic bound. A lot of them. So they're used to the competition. So I think that it should be. I don't think it's going to be close. I never thought I'd say that when they wrestled Iowa, but I'm saying it. I don't think it's going to be close.
If you consider the transitive property, which is not a real thing, and yet people still continue to talk about it to this day, Penn State walloped Michigan. Michigan handled. I mean, just like I still can't quite believe it. Michigan handled Iowa.
They really did. Yeah.
So based on that alone, it's not unreasonable to expect a lopsided result.
But like you said, it's that night. It's 1-on-1 all the time about 1-on-1. Everything starts new, and so we'll see what happens.
And they're going to have the energy of their home crowd. And, so much is on the line for these guys when they wrestle against Penn State. And they may be coming in like a wounded animal, having been kicked around as much as they were by Michigan. So,
and I'm sure the Iowa fans really hate Penn State anyway. So this is
they really do.
they don't want to get Iowa in trouble. So that's what it's about. So,
yeah, like
it's good for the sport. Have a 1 versus 2.
The thing I love about Iowa wrestling fans is that they have, and I get why, but they have this like almost congenital sense of entitlement.
Yeah,
like the sport belongs to them. Yeah. And if anybody, you can be Oklahoma State, everybody infringes on their God-given right to dominate the sport of college wrestling, it just sticks in their craw like nothing else, nothing else. And it has been a source of great enjoyment for me, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Especially since they now, I'm a little less salty about this since we beat them so badly in Beaver Stadium this past fall. But for 2 years, I walked around harboring a lot of resentment for the injury game or the booing our injured players out there in football. And so just watching Penn State drive the Iowa fans absolutely insane. It was enjoyable. That was enjoyable for me.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully they can keep that streak going.
Oh yeah.
On Friday.
I hope so too. I'm anxious to watch that. Can't wait to watch that match. Should be good.
And so last but not least, before we spend the rest of the show talking Super Bowl, you're tuning into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show, coming to you from Quaker Steak and Lube in State College. Come on out here to the Lube tonight or any night for the best selection and variety of wing sauces in State College. Great selection of beers, great menu, and some of the best, and I'm not just saying this because they're a sponsor, and you can believe me or not, but some of the best, most consistently high-quality, friendliest service you're going to get in Happy Valley. Really, it's just, they tick every box here at the Lube, and we're so happy to be here. But, Mike, Penn State men's basketball showing some signs of life.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to the game tonight.
I know this.
However, I will tell you something about Big Ten basketball.
Please do.
Like I told you about Big Ten football.
You did. To set this up, before a single snap of football got played last fall, you came to me and you said, maybe that Thursday night game, like Minnesota and Nebraska or something, but you just said, I can't believe how bad the Big Ten is. I think it might be the worst major conference in football, and they stunk. The Big Ten stunk last season. You were on it, so go ahead.
And I think other than Purdue, I mean, if everyone can't wait to fill out their brackets, I would never pick a Big Ten. I think
fade the Big Ten in your brackets is what you're saying.
Get rid of them. I think other than Purdue, but all the other teams, I don't think they're that good.
Did you happen to catch the Purdue-Wisconsin game this past weekend?
Yeah.
Even though the score stayed relatively close, I didn't really feel like Wisconsin ever had much of a chance. Did you?
No. And then Michigan, who's like 3-9 in the Big Ten, beat Michigan, beat Wisconsin last night.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a shallow conference this year.
Actually, I like Northwestern. But of all the other teams, I mean, obviously I like Penn State, but they're showing some good signs. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Chris Collins has done a really good job with that program.
Yep. Yeah. So, but that's why they play the game. I like to watch the sports. Hopefully all the teams you root for win. So, but whatever. I just don't think, just analyzing the whole conference, I just don't see, other than Purdue, any team moving on in the March Madness or in the NIT, as a matter of fact.
Well, and that means for Penn State fans that chaos creates opportunity.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough this season. Look, we've already eaten too many bad losses this season. The ceiling for Penn State this year is the NIT. Although, look, given where we were when Michael Shrewsbury left, having to hire a new coach and basically totally revamp the roster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To go to the NIT in year one at this program is not anything to sneeze at.
Not shabby. No, it's great.
And again, I talked about it a little bit with Ironhead last time I was in here. To me, especially in a year one scenario like this, where there are so many extenuating circumstances around the roster and having to go into the transfer portal, and you come in mid-recruiting cycle and all of that. I'm looking at Mike Rhodes and, two questions. Can you get your guys to consistently play hard for you, even coming off a bad loss, which they had at home to Minnesota, and then they rattled off 2 road wins against tough competition?
Yeah.
And do you improve? Can you show that you can coach the guys up and improve over the course of the season? And then the question is, what kind of a foundation can you lay in high school recruiting, and can you hit in the transfer portal when you bring in the 1 or 2 key pieces that you need? Penn State already has their best rated recruit ever committed to Mike Rhodes. Transfer portal is TBD, but in terms of can the guy coach, I think that's an unqualified yes based on what we've seen so far.
I like his coaching. I do. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's doing a great job, and it'd be nice to get this win against Iowa tonight. It'd be great to do that. And
that would be a big home win, especially after the way they looked the last time they were on their home floor.
That's right.
That was rough.
That's right. Oh yeah.
I was there. I was not a happy camper, Mike the mailman. So listen, folks, I get it. Penn State basketball. I am not going to belabor the point. I'm not going to try to sell you any snake oil on this. All I'm going to tell you is I know that when they put a competitive product on the floor, which I will be straight up, I understand is infrequently, the fan support is there.
Oh yeah.
And I do not blame a single fair weather Penn State fan for waiting until it can be truly established that this is a team worth showing up for. I get it. All I'm saying is keep your powder dry because I do think better days are ahead, and you might get that opportunity to come watch a really fun and exciting team at the Jordan Center sooner rather than later under Mike Rhodes.
I just like to see them win when they have a full house, because they always seem to lose those games because that would bring more people back.
Yes. Once again, you'll blow a 16-point lead in the second half at your Thon game. Hashtag Penn State basketball. Okay, folks, when we get back, we're going to talk about the big game. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show live from State College's Quaker Steak and Lube on 98.7 The Fox. We will be right back.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see ya in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Your hands it, busboy. Your wings suck. I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. We are live at Quaker Steak and Lube in State College here on 98.7 The Fox. I am Chris Buchanani. I'm joined by Mike the Mailman, filling in for the Goon and Ironhead. Goon on assignment out in Las Vegas. Ironhead on his way to bring you the Penn State Iowa wrestling match tomorrow night. A reminder, tonight here on 98.7 at 7:15 p.m., we have one heck of just an incredible story going on here in our community in high school girls basketball. Undefeated 21-0 St. Joe's Academy taking on Williamsburg, who is 20-1.
That's amazing.
That is going to be a high intensity game. I mean, that's you very, very rarely as an athlete do you just get an opportunity to participate in that kind of a high stakes contest. So that'll be fun. Todd Brown will have the call with Norm Brown on the color commentary tonight at 7:15 here on the airwaves of 98.7 The Fox. Mailman, it's that time. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Normally, I think maybe we would spend because you and I end up doing this show a lot.
Yeah,
the Thursday before the Super Bowl. Seems like there's always a Penn State road wrestling match. Goon goes down to the game typically most years with some of his friends. So normally we do the whole show.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. My bias is showing, and I think a lot of people share this sentiment. I do not care to see a rematch of the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs.
No. Like Goon was saying, last year's Super Bowl was really good. The Eagles game,
yes,
that was really back and forth, which is unusual for a Super Bowl. It was really good. So,
yes.
So who knows what this is going to lead to, but we'll see.
You know, the 49ers are one of the only teams, maybe one of only two, I don't want to say authoritatively off the top of my head, who has been favored in every game they played. I know at least there's one other, and it's the 2007 Patriots.
That's right.
And you know how that worked out for them. Not so good. So, I think you're kind of, at least for me, and maybe I've got a little bit of a bias going on as an Eagles fan, but I feel like the 49ers, not a particularly likable team. I think there are a lot of people, especially in the NFC, who would prefer to not see them win another Super Bowl. I know around here, there are a lot of Steelers fans who would prefer not to see San Francisco win another Super Bowl. And yet, I think people are getting pretty tired of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about Taylor Swift. I think has been beaten to death, but I understand that's another dynamic in play there.
I know. But to me, the only thing I really like about the Super Bowl are the proposition bets. I have two.
I know this about you.
I have two good ones for you, right?
Okay, fire away. Yeah, we're going to do some prop bets here, but go on.
I would go tails first. The coin toss, go with tails.
Are you always a tails guy?
I am.
Yeah. I'm tails never fails.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with that too. I'm a tails guy.
For the longevity of the Star Spangled Banner, I can't imagine any entertainer cutting it short because he's in front of 18 gazillion people.
This year it's Reba McEntire.
Yeah, so she'll want to stand there forever. So I'm taking the over in the national anthem.
So you don't even know what it is. You don't care. You're taking the over.
No.
You know, you took the over last year and it didn't hit.
It was close, but you're right.
Yeah. I always wonder about this. Now I understand it's just for fun, but whatever. People are losing and making real money on this. That's the easiest point shaving you can do. Like, is it illegal, by the way? Like, would there be like an FBI investigation if you cut the national anthem off like a second and a half short? Would they send in the feds on that?
but a lot less pressure on those two bets because they happen so quickly, and then you can watch a game
and you just get them out of the way. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go in reverse. Normally you do predictions first, but who cares? Let's just, you know what? Let's just give away the spoilers at the beginning. Who do you like in this one?
First of all, I actually was surprised that San Francisco was favored. I really thought.
I think that's not correct. I think KC should be. What if you were making a line? What would you make it?
I made it 3.5. Kansas City.
Okay, yeah, I would make it KC by 3. So yeah, right in there.
I mean, you have a coach that has been there before.
Yeah.
And a coach.
Yeah. It still blows my mind a little bit. This is alternate universe as an Eagles fan. I'm living here.
And then you have a quarterback who's a quarterback. He's the real deal. And you have. I mean, every team has talent, but they seem to shine at the right time. They're playing their best ball of the year right now. And so I like Kansas City Sunday.
Me too.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one thing that just, this is not an original take or anything, but it's true. I cannot figure out Brock Purdy.
Oh yeah. No.
That guy throws. He throws some passes that anybody, unless that he was born with a horseshoe where the sun don't shine, because like that, he, instead of ending definitively the NFC Championship game last week, he throws like the worst lame duck pass, and it bounces out of the hands and off the face mask of the defensive back right into Deebo Samuel's hands. And they end up turning it into a touchdown. This just can't keep happening, right? Yeah. Now, look, because they go from playing in the NFC Championship game, one of the top 2 or 3 contenders for most snake-bitten franchise in not just the NFL, professional sports,
right,
to a team that just can do no wrong.
Right.
Team, quarterback, now coach.
I know.
Andy Reid, God love you. Listen, I'm not going to get no ill will against Andy Reid as a Birds fan whatsoever. This is what I tell people when they ask me, "Are you upset that Andy Reid is winning Super Bowls with Kansas City?" Absolutely not. The difference between, and Asante Samuel said it in an interview this week. The difference between Andy Reid losing NFC Championship games in a Super Bowl in Philadelphia and going to Super Bowls and winning in Kansas City is quarterback. Yeah. I mean, did he have a receiver the caliber of Tyreek Hill outside of the 1 year with T.O.?
Yeah.
No. But, I mean, everything else, defense, scheme, playmakers.
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb was a notch or two, a few notches below Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's the difference. So, and by the time Andy left Philly, I don't know how you feel about it, Mike, but I feel pretty strongly that his time there had run its course.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
I mean, like that last season, he named the offensive line coach the new defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah.
Like it was getting pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the other thing I always say as an Eagles fan is that, if you look at the era of Eagles football that I was growing up in as a little kid, there were some great players. There was not a lot of success.
No.
It's certainly not in the postseason for years and years and years. I remember when Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, came out. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
I remember saying that the most unrealistic part of the entire movie was that they had the Eagles in the Super Bowl at the end of it. Like, I couldn't even imagine that. So coming off Rich Kotite and Andy Reid, Rich Kotite and Ray Rhodes. And really, I mean, listen, I love Buddy Ryan, but they didn't win jack in the postseason under Buddy. No disrespect to Buddy, but, again, didn't win playoff games, didn't win when it mattered most. For Andy to come in and as Jeff Lurie was taking over the team in his early era of his ownership, to just completely reverse direction and build that into a winning organization, I am eternally grateful to Andy Reid and everything he meant to the Eagles. So I have absolutely no ill will against the man at all. I wish he would have lost. Deeply wish he would have lost last year, but I have no problems with rooting for him against the 49ers on Sunday.
And one nice thing about the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter to me who wins, so I can just sit there.
I'm not going to feel terrible either way.
Either way, yeah. So,
once Dallas lost, I was good. I was good for the playoffs. It's like, okay, Cowboys are out. Eagles are probably going to lose on Monday night, but it's okay.
Life is good.
Yeah, Dallas in fact, Dallas lost that game, and I said to my wife, I was like, there it is, my Eagles playoff win for the season. Yeah. But, I think everything you just said, like experience, opportunistic defense, quarterback who just knows how to do it. And 3 times there has been a matchup. This is the 4th of head coaches and teams in the Super Bowl. And the team and coach who won the first time won the second time all 3 times.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
we'll see what happens. It should be entertaining.
That's a trend to treasure for you, Mike.
Yeah, trend. Hey.
Okay, let's do some prop bets. Okay. So this gives a length of national anthem in seconds is 87.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So you are comfortably taking the over.
93 seconds. So yeah, that's 93 seconds. It will be. So that's a little bit over, right?
Yeah, I mean, so like under a minute, anything under a minute and a half to me seems like the over is a really good bet.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I'm hoping to.
I mean, I'm just like a minute 27 and a half. That to me feels like there's going to be heavy action on the over.
Yes.
You get a little nervous now? You think that's like a sucker bet?
It could be. So actually, when does that start? When she starts singing, or when the
Oh well,
how does that work?
That's the question, Mike. Yes. See, these are the little details. I would be
not when the music starts.
I'm not a bettor. I don't worry about these things. If I was, I would be like deeply invested in. Now, like, did anybody get her this information prior to the game? Or we count how long is the instrumental introduction?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's important
for sure. Well, let me ask you, just if you were the one setting the rules down, is it when she opens her mouth and she starts singing, or when the music kicks up on the speakers?
I think when she starts singing, that's what.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
agreed.
All right,
agreed. Okay, so we already talked about.
She's country and western, right? Country western singer.
Yeah, okay. Sure. I joke about this with my wife. These genres, I don't know. Like, most of the time, I'll listen to something that'll be like, oh yeah, like that's a country western. Yeah. That's a country artist. And I'm like, hey, is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, people say, like, I know Taylor Swift kind of started in country music, and like I listen to like even her music that was supposedly country. I'm like, guys, I don't know.
Well, I did attend the Super Bowl 27, and
okay.
I think Garth Brooks sang the national anthem.
Okay.
And Michael Jackson was actually the entertainment at halftime.
But that was like that was the bar for halftime shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think after that, then they really started to get really good entertainment.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know that much about proposition betting back then. I had to come here with you guys.
Well, yeah. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going with the over and the tails, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. You're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show live from Quaker Steak and Lube in State College here on 98.7 The Fox. Bucanani and Mailman filling in for the Goon and Ironhead. We are doing Super Bowl prop bets. I got 25 of them here for the Mailman, and first two, he's got the over on the national anthem, and he's got tails.
Tails. Yep.
Now, just straight up, we both took the Chiefs
Right on.
to win.
Yep.
And now this one is interesting. They've got an over-under of 47.5.
Yeah.
What do you like there, Mailman?
I like the under.
You think you like these low-scoring championship games, right?
Yeah, I do like. Yeah, I like the under. I think both teams have very, very good defense. Although I do like. I mean, San Francisco has a really good running back, McCaffrey or something.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey.
And if they use him a lot, that's a lot of time off the clock. That's actually where I'm basing my under on. I like them running the ball a lot more than passing the ball.
Okay. I'm chuckling because when we did this last year, everything you picked made all the sense in the world to me, and you missed on every single one of them, which is
You're right.
And for those of you who don't know, that is atypical to say the least. Like if you wanted to just bet your retirement on taking Mike the Mailman's gambling tips, you could do a heck of a lot worse. I don't know whether he beats the S&P 500 straight up, but it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. So I was surprised to see so many things go south on you last year, Mike, because everything you argued was sound. And I like that argumentation. Had two good defenses and a run-heavy offense in San Fran. Yeah, I mean, it's under 27.5, under 47.5 doesn't seem wild.
But you have to remember, I made a comeback in March Madness.
Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah. So
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, don't read too much into one bad game. First offensive play of the game is a run or a pass?
It'll be a run.
No, I'm on a pass.
Well, when San Francisco gets the ball,
hey, these guys, Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan, they love to throw the ball.
San Francisco going to get the ball, and they're going to use that running back.
Cannot help themselves. I think it's a pass.
Okay.
But Mike the Mailman says runs. You should probably take run. Okay. No. Will there be a score in the first 6 minutes and 59 seconds? That's a yes or no. I don't know why. I don't know whether the first 7 minutes of the game is like some kind of a
I would say no.
Rubicon.
I would say no.
See, I think yes.
Okay. But I'm sticking with the under.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. I think, so I'm just, okay, let's just think about this a little bit. You think San Fran's going to get the ball.
Yeah.
And you think they're going to start with a run play. It seems to me like one of the first two possessions, I think, will result in points of some kind. Okay. So this is any kind of score in the first 6 minutes and 59 seconds. I think there's going to be at least a field goal. I'm a yes on that one.
So those guys can kick field goals a long way, right?
They're
pretty good at that.
Ridiculously. Like, that to me has been one of the underreported or under-considered stories of the last several years of the NFL. The increased consistent range of field goal kickers. It's really changed games.
Oh, no question.
It used to be, for years and years and years, you would never attempt a 50-yard, let alone like a 50-plus yard field goal, unless you're in a desperate situation. Now, routinely, you will see guys line up and nail 53-yarders.
Yeah, this guy hit 5 out of 6 or something.
It changes what you do strategically, and those points, they make a big difference. You can just ask Dan Campbell all about it.
Yeah, I love those 3 points rather than the 7 points. I love the.
I know you, Mike. You and I are cut from the same cloth. We're here like the Joe Paterno School of Football, which is that like if your possession ends in a kick of any kind, you're in good shape.
That's right.
Yeah. Now that has fallen out of favor. By the way, the analytics people don't like that view. I like that view. Kick at the end of every possession.
Who are those guys? Who are those people? The analytic people. Who are those people?
I was talking about this with Ironhead when I was in here last time, and I'm an analytics guy. I think there's a lot to be learned from applying data analysis to inform decision-making in sports. But even though that's the general position I hold, I said, I actually find myself actively disliking the people who agree with me more than I do the people who would say that's complete crap. You just shoot from the hip. It's all about gut and feel and Jimmy's and Joe's and all that analytic stuff is nonsense. I don't like that view. I think it's short-sighted, and I think it's ignorant. But I like the people personally. I like the people who hold that view more than I do the people who agree with me. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of my disease in every aspect of life right now in these United States, and analytics is one of them.
Okay.
I lost my place on the list here talking about analytics. Team to score first: Niners or Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep,
Oh, all right.
I like that. Niners start with the ball. I think they go play action pass. See, I think there's so much focus on McCaffrey. You take advantage of that and you fake it. But anyway, I don't think they get any points. I think the Chiefs score first. This is a bizarre one. The jersey number of the first touchdown score, odd or even?
Odd.
And that's because 87 is an odd number, right?
You know, I like odd numbers.
Yeah, no, I should mention, Michael.
So is 15.
You have a unique connection to this game.
Wow.
Because you have come to befriend, we'll keep it very vague, a member of the Kelsey family, right? Yep. Okay. And so let me just ask, has this come up in conversation at any point this season, the relationship between Travis and his beau?
No.
Or his bae, as they say these days?
No, it has not.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have those kind of talks.
No.
You talk football.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is as good a time as any for me to bring it up. We're going to take a break here in a couple minutes, so I might as well just rip the Band-Aid off. I am exhausted, not by Taylor Swift being at the football games herself. And that just sort of water off a duck's back to me. Like I've got an 11-year-old daughter, so it's fun to watch her get excited about it. But I don't really have strong feelings about it. The discourse around it, on the other hand, has worn me out completely. So I have tried to avoid it. But I do just want to ask, like, what's your take on all of this?
I think it's for real.
So, okay. So let me ask you this.
A lot of people think it's this Showtime. I think it's for a real.
You think there's nuptials in the future?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
Now that's based on, as we discussed, like you have had no conversations. There is no inside information.
No.
This is Mike the mailman's gut feeling.
Yep, gut feeling. Yep. I think it's good. I think I don't know that much about Taylor Swift. I'm not a Taylor Swift music. I don't know a lot about her music, but she seems like a good gal. She seems like a nice gal. I don't know.
I knew you were going to use the word gal. That was fantastic. Yeah. And again, all I'm saying is that our co-host, Kevin Horn, dated his girlfriend for like 75 years.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a pool going among the rest of the cast as to when they were going to get married, and Mike won the pool. I mean, nailed it like he knew. So, if you're a Taylor Travis shipper, like Mike's got good news for you.
Okay.
All right, so let's get back to these prop bets. So you see like an odd number. You think it's going to be Kelsey?
Yeah. Well, could be Mahomes too. I mean, he's 15. Is his number 15? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually interesting. I don't know if you saw the stat going around that, and there are no Alabama alumni playing in this game.
Wow.
So a player who has finished his career at Alabama, you got to clarify these things now because of so many transfers, but a guy who has finished his college career as a member of the Alabama Crimson Tide has never recorded a point in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And the reason why they phrase it that way is, you have like Joe Namath, right, was a quarterback in the Super Bowl, but the points are not assigned to the quarterback. So like you throw a touchdown pass, the receiver is responsible for those points in terms of the way the NFL keeps that record. So the quarterbacks don't count.
Okay.
So, Mahomes, unless he has a rushing touchdown, which is possible, but he's out of the running for that. The only thing is, again, like I just wonder whether they don't get down in close to the goal line and you see maybe like Pacheco or Edwards-Helaire end up getting it.
Now, Pacheco, did he play for Rutgers?
He did.
I can't remember how he did against Penn State.
I mean, all right.
Yeah.
But Pacheco is a great example of like your typical Rutgers player who's successful in the NFL.
Yeah. He's really taken off. He really has.
And Rutgers has actually not done too badly in terms of producing solid multi-year guys in the NFL of late. But the issue for them is they can't stack that talent.
Yeah.
So they always have like one guy here, like Maryland, really.
Yeah.
A guy here, a guy there,
Yeah.
individual athletic talents that can shine when they're coached up and put into the right system at the next level. But in college, just like top to bottom, they're overwhelmed from a talent perspective. Because you're not the first person to bring that up to say, like, man, that guy looks great.
Yeah.
Why didn't he look like that at Rutgers? And it's like, yeah, well, Andy Reid wasn't his coach and Pat Mahomes wasn't his quarterback. So, that had a little bit to do with it.
That's true. Good point.
So the first accepted penalty will be against
Kansas City. A holding penalty.
Holding on Donovan Smith. That's my prediction.
That's exactly right.
By the way, speaking of guys who have scored points in the Super Bowl, Penn State is number 3, knocking on the door of number 2 of most all time for alumni scoring points in the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 81 total points from Nittany Lions in the Super Bowl. Which is, you figure you have like Franco Harris in there, the Barr brothers. The kickers always are great at racking up points. So I'm trying to think. I guess
when I'm just thinking.
We're not going to see. I mean, unless there's a defensive score.
Yeah.
We're not going to see more scored in the Super Bowl because the Penn State players playing on Sunday are Donovan Smith, offensive tackle for the Chiefs. And then Kevin Givens, the defensive lineman, and Jair Brown, the safety for San Francisco.
Yeah. Now, the kid who played for Penn State, he played basketball for State High.
Jordan Norwood.
Yeah. He had I think up to last year, the longest punt return.
Correct.
But he didn't score on that, right?
He did not.
Okay.
No, just the most yardage.
The most yardage. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a shame. He was so close. He was so close to breaking that all the way. But I mean, still, like that's a really cool record to have.
Yeah, nice kid. Really
yeah. Jordan Norwood was one of my all-time favorite Penn State players, and the path he followed to carve out a niche for himself in the NFL and then catch on with that Super Bowl winning Broncos team, like that was a really cool story.
He always respected the game and one another, and that's what I like about it. I like it that when a player respects the game and the other players. I think he always did that.
I'm with you. Very likable, and that's one thing as a Penn State fan. I always look for the Nittany Lions who get a chance to get a Super Bowl ring. Donovan Smith's already got one. He got one with Tampa Bay when they beat Kansas City a few years ago, and Tig Brown. I love Kevin Givens, so it did not take nothing away from him. But Jair Brown, I thought, was one of the most fun, like in terms of just style of play, defenders to watch in recent memory at Penn State. And I got a chance to interview him a couple of times and talk with his teammates. And you got the sense from him, what was backed up by every person I talked to about him, that guy is a leader by his presence in the locker room and example in terms of how he prepares and how he plays. And it is no surprise to me at all that as a rookie, he has carved out a niche. I don't understand. I thought he was drafted absolutely like too low.
Low, yeah.
And I don't understand why he went as low as he did. I mean, it's not like he was like a 7th rounder or anything, but I thought he was a legit, I thought he was like a second round talent. So I'll be happy for Jair Brown if San Fran wins.
You talk about winning a Super Bowl ring. Did I ever tell this story? I got to wear one for like a minute.
You did, and not just any team's Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, the Eagles,
Philadelphia Eagles.
So gaudy. Why do they want these? It's really funny.
Well, they got bigger hands than we do.
That's for sure.
All right, so let's go to another Super Bowl prop bet here. You said first accepted penalty against the Chiefs. Yeah, because we talked about Donovan Smith. That's what got us talking about Nittany Lions. A score in the final 2 minutes of the first half, yes or no?
Yes.
Now I'm just going to throw you a bonus question. Touchdown or field goal?
Field goal.
By?
The Chiefs.
Okay. So you think they will score first and score the last score of the first half?
I tell you, NFL coaches really know how to use the clock and the time. Their time management skills.
Careful now.
I know.
Andy Reid is not exactly renowned for his clock management acumen.
But the other guy, the guy beside him, pretty good.
So, Mike, what have you heard me say 7 million times about James Franklin? Don't be too proud to admit your weak points. Andy, and I mean, again, like this is why you're contrasting his time in Philly and his time in KC.
Yeah.
Wisdom comes with age. Andy finally recognized, hey, I'm bad at this. Like, I'm so bad at this that it's like losing my team games. You know what? Like, I work for an NFL team. I have a virtually limitless pot of money at my disposal. I'm just going to find somebody who knows how to do this thing and just have him tell me what to do.
Nothing annoys Mr. Kevin Horn and the mailman more than time management.
It's such a little thing, but it is so important. It can make such a big difference.
Right.
And yeah, to your point, like Andy, now he's got a little birdie in his ear. And yet that's what you do.
That's what you got to do.
There are too many things. There are too many things in a head coach's job description to be good at all of them.
That's right.
Just outsource it.
Delegate it.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually, KC's going to score at the end of the first half due to good clock management by Andy Reid. I love it. I love what you're putting down, Michael. Let's take our final break here on the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. We're live from Quaker Steak and Lube on 98.7 The Fox. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Your hands, busboy. Your wings suck. I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
Closing minutes of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on this Thursday, February the 8th, getting ready to go into Super Bowl weekend. We're live at Quaker Steak and Lube here in State College. Chris Buchanani and Mike the Mailman filling in for Goon and Ironhead. Of course, a reminder that Ironhead is out because he's on his way to Iowa City. He's probably there by now with the Penn State Wrestling team. They're getting ready to take on Iowa in a match that you can hear Ironhead calling live at gopsusports.com tomorrow evening. If you are here listening locally in Happy Valley on 98.7 The Fox at 7:15 p.m., you can hear a big-time high school girls basketball game between undefeated St. Joseph's versus one-loss Williamsburg. That's 21-0 versus 20-1. Todd Brown on the call right here at 7:15 p.m. Nittany Lions men's basketball team taking on Iowa at Bryce Jordan Center. And at 9 p.m., the women's team taking on Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes out there. So it's a Penn State versus Iowa weekend, Michael.
Yes, it is. Caitlin Clark, pretty, she's almost at the top of the scoring chart or something.
Yes. Yeah, she's moving her way up. Wow. And I'm,
Well, she won't get that tonight.
No, we hope not.
We don't want that to happen against
that would set it. That would set a couple of records.
Yeah,
if she did. But she's getting there and she's getting close.
Yeah.
I never really had a problem with Iowa athletics. I always kind of viewed them, even for all the suffering they inflicted on Penn State football. I kind of viewed them as kindred spirits. And then I don't know. It's just never going to be the same after the boo and the injured players.
And if it comes, as a matter of fact, I mean, I don't mind the Iowa wrestlers. It's the coaches. Of all the coaches, they're probably
just absurd, like clownish behavior.
They are.
For as much as there's so many things to like about Kel Sanderson, and we are so fortunate to have him here at Penn State.
No question.
But one of the things that I like about him is that he's exactly the kind of guy you want to root for, right? Because he is just so steady Eddie.
Yep.
That's the way I describe this team, just unperturbable.
Just like Russ Rose will sit there and Cal.
The
other coaches the coaches go crazy. Cal and Russ never did. They did their work in practice. They don't have to do it. Not in front of the crowd.
But Brands is just. I mean, his behavior is just asinine.
No question.
But it's got to be very, very frustrating to those folks out there in the Hawkeye State, because as we discussed earlier, they think they have a birthright to dominating the sport of college wrestling. So it's just very tough for their egos.
That's right. Sure.
That's why they've all glommed on to Caitlin Clark so much. They gotta feel like they've got something to hang their hat on.
Yep.
Yeah, they finally hired an offensive coordinator. So anyway, we talked prop bets a little bit, Super Bowl. We talked about Taylor Swift. Mike's got, nuptials in the future for Travis and Taylor. No proposal tonight, right? That'd be silly.
That would be silly.
Yeah, I think that's nuts.
That's a personal.
If someone at your Super Bowl party gives you that bet, my advice is to take it. And I don't give betting advice. But yeah, this is just absurd idea that because how is that even going to work? What if they lost? Right? San Francisco's very good. That's a very good team. You just would not plan it that way. I mean, I guess you could tell me, the Boise State running back did, but
that's right.
Yeah, this is not that type of a deal. The cheerleader he proposed to was not a billionaire global icon.
That's true.
So yeah, this is not going to happen for anybody who's hoping for it. But if you had to take one Super Bowl prop bet that you would feel best about, if you were to put your entire bankroll on one prop bet, it would be
the coin toss.
Tails. Never fails. Never fails. Except last year when we told you to take tails, and I think it was heads.
First time out of 7 or something like that. So
is that right?
Yeah. I go with the trends. What trends to treasure.
I know this. I know you are a trends guy, and so just for folks who were just tuning in, we both got the Kansas City Chiefs winning. Really, Patrick Mahomes cementing his legacy is coming after Tom Brady and coming after him hard and fast.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with me and Mike the Mailman. Reminder, of course, you can check us out on the obligatory PSU pregame show when Penn State football season rolls around this fall on Monday at 4:30, running till 6:30. So convenient if you're headed up to the Penn State Wrestling match. Cafe 210, swing on by there and join an event with former women's field hockey coach Char Moret Curtis and her group, Teammates for Life and the Keystone Sports Network. And one final reminder, girls high school basketball tonight at 98.7 The Fox at 7:15 p.m. Goon and Ironhead show is back next Tuesday at 3 p.m. From Mike the Mailman, I'm Chris Bucanati. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the big game. Stay safe. We are.